Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 7 of season 2 of the F1 2021 Williams Road to Glory. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live a couple of days ago from Baku, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out before we jump into this race today. But of course, you know, as F1 My Team, obviously we jumped into season 6, round 1 of the year went live yesterday as well for that. Go back and check it out. You know, massive thank you to all of you guys for continued support on the channel. You know, as My Team, we're starting to come towards the end of that as a series. You know, I sort of want to see the Williams Road to Glory pick up some pace as well. You know, we've got a long way to go in this series. And of course, we are already now starting to look towards F1 2022. So yeah, we're going to try and up the ante with the Williams Road to Glory. So if you do go on to enjoy these videos, make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, like I said. But of course, spoilers in just a moment then. Before that though, we have still got some major upgrades going on behind the scenes there. We've got another chassis upgrade that should bring us past Alpine and right up to AlphaTauri levels of performance there. We're just slowly trying to inch away from Aston Martin at this stage of the season there. You can see the good progress that we've made in comparison to Alfa Romeo and Haas at the moment there. But yeah, our first ever podium in the Williams Road to Glory last weekend out there. Hamilton leads the way now, 105 points to Valtteri Bottas' 91 there, with Verstappen just a further 2 points back. But we're into 11th overall in the Drivers' Championship there. George Russell in P13 as well, not too far behind. Tied on points with Alpine as we head into round 7 of the campaign there. We're almost at 1/3 distance of this championship, but another big battle we've actually got on our hands appears to be with Ferrari there. We're just 2 points behind Leclerc. Russell is just another 8 points behind Carlos Sainz. Could we potentially, be able to throw a challenge down, you know, a gauntlet to Ferrari over the course of this season? Things have fallen into place for us, though, so far, where they definitely haven't for Ferrari, and we are going to have to think about taking some penalties further down the line there, as we're already going to have to jump on to our second control electronics. But less intro, let's get in then here to the Canadian Grand Prix. It's been a while, actually, since I've driven here in Montreal. Let's get into it. We are now just 1 month away from the new F1 season, of course, with all the new liveries revealing, means that we've got all new merch drops. The 2022 McLaren replica launch has now gone live, as well as the 2022 Ferrari collection, and of course, the Puma drop as well, featuring brands from Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari. Of course, there are options available for every single team still. Click the link down below, and buy yourself some merch for 2022. Right, well, qualifying day then here from the Canadian Grand Prix, and fingers crossed we can try and get some good laps in. Of course, last time around in Baku, we were able to set a really good qualifying time there to put ourselves inside the top 10 for the first time in this series. But what will the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve have in store for us today? You know, should be, again, another track that suits the car. High-speed nature generally is the way this car likes to play nowadays. But, yeah, you never quite know still. Can be a little bit unpredictable, this Williams, but we'll see how the session unfolds. Setting the pace so far on a high 1:08. We've got to be super careful though through the final chicane. Of course, sim damage in this series. If you take too much of the curb through the final couple of corners, it can really make the car very unstable incredibly quickly, as we learn in free practice there. So braking down in towards the final chicane, tipping in, that was pretty good. Use up all the exit curb. They're accidentally short shifting up a little bit too much, up towards the line. It's going to be a high 9 there, and 1:09.7, pretty much a second off Kimi Räikkönen. We've got a lot of time to find, but we've got the banker lap in. Right, second lap then. Let's try and attack a little bit more with the car there. Currently set in P19. Definitely don't want to be here.
Forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
That shouldn't affect qualifying by any means, but yeah, we just got to try and be a bit more aggressive this time around. Then we've sort of learnt what the car can do, and now we can just be trying to be a bit more sort of tipping into the corners a bit with more confidence and things like that. I mean, we definitely, our first lap was very scrappy, so I mean, even now, just keeping it on the apexes, we found 7/10 immediately. So if we can get down into the 108s, that would be good. Down in towards the final chicane then, just the wall of champions left to navigate, and still 7/10 up. Let's just tip it in nice and carefully there. That was really good that time around there. Activate the DRS, don't short shift on the exit. And that's going to put us into the 108, so 108.8 there. So pretty much in line with where we should be there, around Vettel, Russell, Tsunoda and Ocon. That's exactly what we need, but we've got one more set of tyres still, so we can afford to do a bit of an all or nothing lap. Right, less than a minute left on the clock, but we are still sat in P13. Stroll's just gone quicker than George Russell. But what sort of time can we find then in this final lap? Longest run to the line, let us build up the most momentum. And as we head back down in towards turn 1 then, our second lap was pretty tidy for the most part. So this one is going to be interesting to see just how much more we're going to be able to try and get out of the car there. A little bit of snap oversteer on the exit, the first chicane. Tip it in. Oh, get right up to the wall on the exit there. That was pretty much as perfect as I'm going to be able to get there. Brake at the 100-metre board there. Try to avoid front lock-in. And attack the curbs on the exit there. Avoid the one on the outside, though. That one can really upset the rear of the car here. It's still a tenth and a half up. Braking just as you go under the little gantry. Attack the curbing on the exit. And again, get close to the wall as you down the exit there. Losing a little bit of time that time around there. It's braking just as you go past that little grey bit of tarmac on the outside there. Roll on the power on the exit. Fourth gear as you try and put the power down. And yeah, almost 2 tenths up. Still Russell's found a bit more pace. He's about 2 tenths quicker than me at the moment, so we need to nail this final chicane. All the times are tumbling. Perez goes fastest, braking just after the 100-metre board. They're all way too aggressive on the way in, and that's going to cost us as we head up towards the line. We are going to improve, and I think it's only P15 there, so a little bit gutted with that. Could have been a little bit higher up the order there, but seems like there's a lot of cars close on pace.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Perez, Bottas, and Max Verstappen. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Well, there we go then. Sergio Perez on pole for the Canadian Grand Prix there. Something we weren't quite expected to see this weekend. Bottas P2 ahead of Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton there. Always a track he's gone well at, down in P4 ahead of both McLarens and Ferraris there, with both AlphaTauris rounding out the top 10. Seems like AlphaTauri have made big steps forward there. Kimi, only half a second off the pole, is kind of insane when you think about it there. But we were 600ths behind our teammate George Russell there, and Sebastian Vettel and Esteban Ocon managed to get between us. But looks like now, with maybe the exception of Lance Stroll, pretty much us upwards are all fairly close now, within about a second on at race pace there. It's just Alfa Romeo and Haas that have kind of been left behind. So perhaps the one lap pace in Baku last weekend now wasn't a one-off. Maybe this car is starting to click, is starting to sort of really squeeze itself into the midfield. Let's dive in then here to the Canadian Grand Prix.
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at a fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than a tenth of a second. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions. And watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
From the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole position today, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo and Norris, Sainz, Leclerc, Gasly and Kimi Raikkonen, Tsunoda, Russell, Sebastian Vettel and Ocon. Mr. Monaco, Stroll. Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher. Mazepin and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Wow, Jeff with a somewhat sensible remark before we jump in to the Canadian Grand Prix here today then, but strategy might be a little bit interesting here. Looks like we could see some weather towards the end of the GP. We're going to try soft, medium, soft, I think is going to be the way to go, just in case we do see that little bit of intermediate conditions towards the end. Either it means we can try and take the mediums closer to the wet period, or we've got fresher, quicker rubber right towards the end of the GP there. But pretty much ready then for the Canadian Grand Prix here today. Looking forward to actually coming back to the Montreal circuit. Right, well ready then, let's jump in to the Canadian Grand Prix here today. Waiting on those 5 red lights for round 7 of the year. And it's going to be lights out and away we go. And not a bad start at all as we head down in towards turn 1. But Giovinazzi has decided he's going to send it there through the first corner, and everyone trying to jump out of the way of him. So we're going to try and capitalise on the exit. And look at that, we found the space. Running the legal overtake on the Italian, but straight up into P13. They know everyone. Oh, trying to gain places off the start there. The Alpine of Esteban Ocon sending it to the inside there, and I was worried I wasn't going to get any room on the exit the corner in that one, so we do have to just cut across the grass ever so slightly. But yeah, dramatic start then here from the Canadian Grand Prix. Giovinazzi up, what, 7 places, 5 places off the start of the race there. So, I mean, bravery at its absolute finest, but of course sim damage in this series certainly wouldn't be a move I'd be trying to pull off all too often in this career mode there. But we do move past Ocon and Sebastian Vettel as all, most immediately running into the back of the Italian, but we really don't want to spend all day battling with him. Much slower car at the moment, Alfa Romeo, especially around a track like this. Haas and Alfa tend to struggle even more around the straight line circuits there, as around the outside of Gio we go, clean past him in towards the final corner here. But look at this, Williams at the end of lap 1, 11th and 12th at the start of this race there, as Perez still leads the way there. Verstappen has got the jump on Valtteri Bottas there, who started in P2, but I think it was Hamilton out of everyone that seems to have been pushed right to the rear of the field there. There's definitely Mercedes right at the very back, so I'm sure they're going to be trying to fight their way back through over the course of the next few laps there. And yeah, actually not 100% sure which Mercedes that must be, so we must have missed that as we were trying to avoid Antonio Giovinazzi there, and perhaps that was what sort of caused the domino effect through the first few turns. But dramatic start here, but we're up 3 places.
Green flag.
Oh, we got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues. I think it was Esteban Ocon. As no, it was Bottas. Oh, Stroll's out. What's going on? Let's ride on board then with Esteban Ocon as we head through turn 1 there. Just gets a little bit loose through the first corner. Loops it round on the exit. And oh, Stroll nowhere to go. And Aston Martin roadblock through the first couple of corners there. Somehow, Vettel and Ocon just sort of survive that one. But Stroll out of his home Grand Prix. Oh, and at the end of lap 3 then, I was going to say we might see some strategy calls. And it looks like Perez, as well as one of the McLarens and one of the Alpha Tauris, are into the box. So that's going to promote both Williams into the points here. But yeah, interesting to see how that's going to play out for Sergio now. He's going to have to be decisive with his overtaking. Oh, Esteban Ocon out now of the Grand Prix. I'm guessing that was because of the damage he sustained earlier. But yeah, Esteban Ocon out now under safety cars. So we've already had 2 retirements in this GP. And, of course, 2 retirements from cars we probably would have been battling with. Well, here we go then. Green flag racing about to resume here from Montreal. And it is Verstappen that leads the way ahead of Lewis Hamilton here. Only us and Ferrari have both cars inside the top 10 at the moment. Goes to show how crazy this race has been. And look at that, Giovinazzi in 10th place for Alfa Romeo. I don't think he's going to stay there for very long, especially with Perez waiting in the wings. Oh, what's going on in towards the final couple of corners? Not too sure whether we're coming or going. Don't do that, please. But it is green flag racing once more then, here from the Canadian Grand Prix. We've somehow survived that nice little bit of wheel spin at the final corner, but got to try and get the tyres up to temperature again, and then focus on trying to move forward there, as immediately Giovinazzi has lost the place to Checo, so can't imagine it's going to be long before Sergio is rustling our
You're in the top
feathers.
10 now. Keep it up.
Last weekend we were trying to overtake a Red Bull on some fresher tyres. I think this weekend it's going to be the other way around. Sergio Perez to the inside, in towards the final chicane, and yeah, I don't really want to go side by side with him into there, trying to be super careful. I don't know how badly the sim damage can affect our races, so we're just going to let Checo by.
Keep on him. He might make a mistake.
I think team are right there. He might make a mistake, or of course he can help us try to move back past other cars. But yeah, trying to pick and choose our battles.
You'll be on the mediums.
Oh, got more cars into the pits at the end of lap 8. It's going to be Charles Leclerc, Kimi Raikkonen, Verstappen, and I think Hamilton as well there. So now it's going to be Sainz that leads.
DRS is now online.
And on face value, it's looking like a very, very smart call from Sergio Perez there. Mazepin now into 7th place. Things we didn't expect to see. Perez is now going to have the DRS, though, on George Russell as we come around the hairpin on lap 9. I'm going to hazard a guess and say Russell's probably going to box at the end of this lap. So maybe this could get a little bit squirrely between the pair of them in towards the final chicane. Perez going to have a look.
Grip levels to start falling away soon.
Grip going to start falling away soon. Russell does dive it in there as Perez very, very aggressive, slamming the door shut. So now the top 3 are going to be Tsunoda, Perez and myself. I think we're, yeah, Tsunoda of course on an alternate strat. Team want us in and definitely think it's time. But Perez, yeah, looking very, very good early on here. Got a nice advantage over his main rivals, as I think Hamilton might have got the jump on the Verstappen there, as that is not the line through turn 3. And towards the end of lap 10 then, we have been able to hang on inside the DRS of Sergio. Is he going to be able to have a look for a move past Tsunoda? Of course, no team orders in play anymore between those two teams. No, he is not. So Perez is going to sit behind him again. We only just get the car slowed down into the pit lane there. But yeah, very, very mixed up grid at the moment. Ricciardo now ahead of Gasly. Bottas still in 6th place now after pitting in the safety car. And then Vettel, Hamilton, Verstappen and Carlos Sainz. Where are we going to come out in comparison to George? 2.5 second stop actually isn't too bad on F1 2021. Here's George Russell there. Charles Leclerc sets fastest lap. It's all going on in this GP, and it is going to be close between us and George Russell as we head out of the pits. We're going to be side by side with our teammate. Oh, we just might try and get to the inside there. We're going to capitalise early, but cold tyres. Don't think we're quite going to be able to make that one work. Yeah, we're going to have to slot back in for now, but we should have the DRS. We might be able to stay on the offensive here. There's a lot at stake down at Williams at the moment. The battle for the #1 driver and the supremacy within the team. Are we now going to be able to make a move on George? Oh, again, he's just going defensive in towards the corners. And yeah, sim damage completely changes the way we do racing on F1 2021. Full damage isn't too bad, but you're certainly, yeah, less likely to take risks as, again, they're able to make a move work there. As long as we get on the power nicely out here, though, might now be able to have a look past George Russell as we head down in towards the final chicane. They're gaining on our Williams teammate there. To the outside will go. Oh, a little bit of movement from George, but that time round we just started to get it slowed down. Use a lot more battery on the exit, though, to make sure we maintain the run. And we are now back up into P13 then.
The car in front is 4.1 seconds.
I think this is going to be one of those races, though, again, where we don't really know who we're battling with until right at the very end. But that also depends on whether the rain arrives. Looks like myself and Russell, though, have jumped Yuki Tsunoda through the pit window, but that Alpine is not slow. Oh, Antonio Giovinazzi out of the Grand Prix. Looks to be another mechanical failure then. Down to 17 runners in this race. Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen, of course, ex-Ferrari teammates, going side by side. This could help us get just that little bit closer to the pair of them. But we are making good gains anyway. Pace in the car feels good at the moment. Here we go again. Kimi and Seb in towards the final chicane there that time round. The wise old head of Kimi Raikkonen thinks better of it. But yeah, this is just allowing us to gain so much time on the pair of them here and maybe elevate ourselves back up into the points. Oh, we're going to see Kimi Raikkonen maybe get a run on Seb on the exit of the hairpin. Oh, look at that, Kimi. Very, very slow on the apex there. We're going to try and roll on the power on the exit. We've got fresher, quicker rubber. And the pair of these guys at the moment, as Kimi and myself are both going to start gaining on Sebastian Vettel here. To the inside, though, of Kimi Raikkonen. in towards the final chicane. Pretty even on the brakes there, and we have to sort of muscle the fin out there. And we do now move up into P11.
Good job.
Team happy with the move, but now we've got to try and get past Seb as well as we cross over the halfway stage here in Canada. Been a very eventful race so far, which I feel like I say a lot on F1 2021. Seb is struggling on his tyres at the moment there as we kick out the back end. Trying to get a run on the Aston Martin. To the outside we go this time round. And just that little bit later on the brakes, we take a lot of curb on the exit. We do just about get it slowed down. Seb's going to have the DRS on me now, though, as we head down the back straight. But I think we've got a little bit more faith in our car at the moment. So we might just be able to sort of gap ourselves into safety before then. And yeah, 3/4 of a second. That should be a big enough gap.
We're expecting rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
There we go.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
Rain confirmed 10 to 15 minutes. Confirmed. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens now with the rain, but yeah, now we're starting to look towards the end of this GP. Handful of cars into the pits once more there. As we come through the final chicane once again, including Sebastian Vettel from just behind us. So we're going to be up now into 6th place once more. But again, yeah, we're going to have a lot of quick cars behind us, and we've still got one more pit stop to make. Weirdly, though, ahead of Perez somehow again. Oh, there we go, more cars in. Verstappen, Leclerc and Hamilton at the end of lap 21. But Kimi Raikkonen's looking fast at the moment. I say that, suddenly decides to jump into the pits again. So we're now up into the podium places there. Sainz and Norris.
You'll be on the softs.
1 and 2 there. Perez another new fastest lap, but yeah, we're just trying to hang on out, playing our own race at the moment. But we've got to wait to see what's saying with the rain. And there we go, Sainz and Norris in, so we might just lead 2 races in a row. But just like last time out, we're going to take the lead, but we're immediately going to have a much, much faster car right on our gearbox here. We do officially need a lap, though, of the Canadian Grand Prix. And Perez, big send coming in from Checo there. Forces his way through down at turn 1.
Coming in for his stop.
George into the box once again, so he's going to go mediums then, nice and safe to the end of the GP. Yeah, not too sure what's happened to George over the last few laps. Pace seems to have completely fallen apart. But yeah, just frustrating to see for our teammate. Daniel Ricciardo now all over our gearbox as well as we head through the middle sector. Let's see if, I mean, we're not going to use any battery. We're just going to try and see if the Australian's going to be able to sneak by us. Again, not really in a battle with these two. And yeah, Checo and Danny Rick, 2 drivers that desperately need to prove a point this weekend. And 1 and 2 at the moment there. Could Ricciardo close up the gap to the Red Bull? It has just been the Mercedes and Red Bull show so far this season. They've won every race so far. But could Ricciardo and McLaren upset that in a similar way to how they did in real life?
Understood, stopping this lap.
Boxing in then at the end of lap 26. We've gone a little bit further on these mediums, but should mean we're a little bit more racy right towards the end on the soft tyres there. Teams still don't believe the rain's going to come before the end of the Grand Prix. They're still saying about 15 minutes from now, so we might get a few spatterings on the final lap. But we've got a huge gaggle of cars behind us. They're going to jump us now when we come in. Again, pretty much nailing the pit entry as well as I would ever hope to there. But I think, yeah, realistically, our battle is going to be with, you know, Kimi Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel here. So we might see a 3-way scrap for the final points-paying position. Another nice pit stop there, 2.4 that time round. But fingers crossed, yeah, we can hassle these guys before the end. I ummed and ahed.
No more scheduled pit stops.
Yeah, I ummed and ahed about whether it was going to be worth staying out, but I think we would have just sunk like a stone in the final few laps. 5 seconds, though, the gap to the AlphaTauri and the Aston Martin in front. Let's see if we can close it up. Making good gains on Kimi and Seb at the moment there. Could this be fastest lap of the race? Yes, it is. Look at that. Bonus points maybe for Williams. A 109.8. I'm sure Checo's probably going to find more pace on the final lap if he needs to there. But that's what you love to see. This car is definitely starting to come alive more and more as this season progresses there. And you can see the extra grip we've got over Sebastian Vettel at the moment. But heading down. Oh, come on, Seb. Get on with it, mate. I want to try and put chase on Kimi Raikkonen. You know, you might be able to hang along with me for the journey if you like there. But Sebastian Vettel going very, very defensive. Very, very defensive there from the German. He just about sits in front of me through another couple of corners there. Surely now we're going to try and get the run down in towards the hairpin, though, to the inside, making it very, very clear. You can only block me like that once, Sebastian. And we'll have the DRS as well on the exit. So now, we got 6 laps to go. Kimi Räikkönen 3 seconds up the road, about half a second a lap. That's definitely doable, but we got to try and make sure we got some battery left to attack. Oh, we got yellow flags out. Someone up the road's got issues. Maybe we won't have to battle Kimi for the points. It looks like it's one of the Mercedes. Oh no, it's all kicking off. What's going on? Lando Norris out.
Which has resulted in lots of loose debris on the track. The safety car is being deployed.
What on earth's going on? So looks like Bottas is trying to retire from the Grand Prix. Lando Norris rams into him. And then Charles Leclerc, I think, has just gone into the back of Lando Norris as well there. Let's have a look. Pedals just playing up a little bit. Yeah, so Bottas has retired. Lando's then gone and straight into the back of him there. And Charles Leclerc's just kind of doing his own thing. Hits the wall and goes straight into the back of Lando as well. So carnage and chaos in the Canadian Grand Prix there with another 3 cars out. We're down to 14 runners here. And we've been given a lifeline. So Bottas now with 2 mechanical failures in a row here. And now you can see...
Rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes.
So rain now expected to fall before the end of this Canadian Grand Prix. Could we now maybe have a big advantage on some fresher, softer rubber in the dying stages? I definitely want to try and jump Kimi. But yeah, not sure when this rain's going to arrive. It's all kicking off here in Montreal. Well, safety car in then at the end of lap 33. We're going to have 2 laps to go. But the rain is now starting to fall. How heavy is it going to be? That's going to be the next question. And are we now potentially going to have a minor advantage over the rest of the field here? Both Alphas, well, the Alpha, sorry, of Giovinazzi, no, must be Mazepin and both Haas cars trying to catch back up as we head down in towards the final chicane. Oh, come on, got to try and get the tyres up to temperature here because there is plenty more on offer in the final 2 laps then of this Canadian Grand Prix. Kimi Räikkönen, just the man in front of us still, but we need to try and build up temperature in these tyres. It's always somewhere the AI is strong.
The car behind is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap.
Team just warning me about the car behind there, but not too worried about that. We're going to try and focus on the cars in front at the moment. There's Pierre Gasly potentially on for his 2nd podium of the year, but now the grip's starting to come back to me, I think. Just a little bit more as we close up on the AlphaTauri there. We can see the Honda logos on the rear wing, but we ideally want to see them in our rear view mirrors. Gonna have no DRS though in these final 2 laps, so we get a decent run out of the hairpin. Are we going to be able to have a look on Kimi?
Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
Oh, thought about it on Kimi, but he sends it and somehow finds the grip through the final chicane though, about to start the last lap of this Canadian Grand Prix there, and looks like we have got the run back in towards turn 1. Is Kimi Räikkönen going to try and hang the nose there? We're not going to give him any chance to do so through the first corner, and now up into P7 of this Canadian Grand Prix there, and of course with the fastest lap bonus point that I can't see Perez is going to be able to take back from us. Things are looking pretty good here to finish off in Canada. Vettel has now got the jump on Kimi as well, so what's going wrong for Kimi Räikkönen on these final couple of laps, and could we potentially see Russell or Tsunoda try and get in there as well, where somehow, despite the safety car restart, looks like we're going to finish with a bit of a gap either side. 3 laps of fuel remaining, not too worried about that at the moment, but we said Sergio Perez and Daniel Ricciardo, they needed a good result this weekend, and it looks like that's going to be what they're both going to achieve. Checo Perez looks like he's going to round the final few corners, and he's going to be back on top here in the Canadian Grand Prix. We don't see it often in Formula 1, but the Mexican is going to come through and win yet another Formula 1 Grand Prix there. Ricciardo's going to come through for P2. Pierre Gasly is going to bag his 2nd podium in 7 races there in P3. And we come through for 7th with the fastest lap bonus.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Taking care of the car was absolutely vital today. It's been obvious all weekend that the pace was there, but look at the attrition rate we've had. They would have been very concerned about any minor anomaly towards the latter stages of this Grand Prix.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
Let's move on to the constructors. No change in the top spot, but with today's points, their hold on the lead is getting weaker. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Canadian Grand Prix there, and Sergio Perez back on top in Formula One. You absolutely love to see it there. But a bit of a crazy race. 2 safety cars, 6 DNFs was not exactly what we expected on our return to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve there. But Ricciardo in P2 ahead of Pierre Gasly there. Sainz ahead of Hamilton, and Verstappen means that Hamilton does extend his championship lead by another handful of points there. We come through for 7th again. Hamilton, Verstappen and myself. It's not the order I expected us to be finishing in frequently, whether it's right at the top or right at the bottom, but it is happening at the moment there. Vettel in 8th ahead of Raikkonen and Tsunoda there, so Kimi did hold on for that extra couple of points there at the end. And yeah, George Russell just missed out ahead of Nikita Mazepin there, who critically finished ahead of Haas, because that might well be all 3 of those drivers' best results of the year there. The Canadian Nicholas Latifi down in last place. I'm sure not the race he would have wanted there, but better than his fellow Canadian Lance Stroll there. Joins Bottas, Leclerc, Norris, Giovinazzi and Ocon on the sidelines at the end of the GP there. Yeah, very much a race of attrition through reliability and a couple of big shunts as well there. But it does mean championship-wise, Hamilton now 18 points lead at the top of the table there. Bottas now has been jumped by Max Verstappen into P3. Sergio Perez still in 4th there ahead of Daniel Ricciardo and Gasly there, with Lando Norris down to 7th place now ahead of Sainz and myself there. We're now 2 points ahead of Kimi with that good result, and 3 points ahead of Yuki Tsunoda there. Charles Leclerc still down now in 12th place there ahead of George Russell there. Sebastian Vettel as well on 14 points ahead of Ocon there, and yeah, just Stroll, the Alphas and the Haas cars yet to score. Means constructors wide, Mercedes 30 clear of Red Bull there, McLaren in P3 ahead of AlphaTauri, Ferrari and ourselves. We've now got a little buffer ahead of Alpine there, and yeah, Alfa Romeo jump Haas on countback as well at the rear of the field. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and yeah, we'll be back very soon. With round 8 of the year, we head to Le Castellet. You guys do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.